Got a big third down coming up, and we have an incident down here with Antonio Brown. He is upset about something, Gene, and I've never seen this. He has taken his uniform, his shoulder pads off, and he has run to the bucket.
Watching me, and you fellas gon' see, man. You don't wanna walk around with these D's. Ride out, sippin', drink, blowing trees. Keep watching me, and you fellas gon' see, man. You don't wanna walk around with these D's. Ride out, sippin', drink, blowing trees. I'ma hide behind that tip, these motherfuckers wonder where he went. But I remain this thing and have finer things still harder than the cement. You be walking on, running out of time like a cell phone you be talking on. I'ma make your plays, have yellow tape and the concrete they be talking on. Nigga, I be watching, y'all watching me when I pulls up on the scene. Niggas be looking like they wanna pick a fight cause my neck and wrist bling bling. You would hate me from over there long as you don't invade my space. If you invade my space, my bitch gon' invade your face. Nigga, don't give me.
Player Antonio Brown. He recently got in some trouble. Left the team during, like, I want to say it was right before the half, or it might have been right after the half in the third quarter. Anyway, it was during the game. He took off all his pads and threw his jersey in the stand and ran off in AB fashion, waving to the crowd. It was Tampa Bay on the road playing the Jets.
Antonio Brown, that's Antonio Brown without his uniform, we are told, without his jersey, and running onto the field.
Very odd situation. Antonio Brown boiled over, very upset on the sideline, took off his shoulder pads. Mike Evans, O.J. Howard trying to convince him to keep them on. Obviously, they were unable to do so. He tossed his shoulder pads, stripped off his shirt and glove, threw those into the crowd, then ran across the field while the teams were still on the field, giving the crowd a peace out sign. I'll let you know when we hear something official on his status.
And, you know, AB's track record, he done had some issues in the past on and off the field. What's your thoughts on this latest incident? You think this is the last straw for him? You think another team gonna pick him up, or is his career over with? You know, I heard something today saying that they didn't officially cut him yet. They may suspend him. You know, I don't know how this is going to end up with AB, man. But he also released a statement today. I just got it as we was doing the podcast. He said that they had him playing on a injured ankle that he didn't want to play on, apparently, and it's going to require surgery and this and that. He sure was dancing off that field like he felt good, man. You know?
The week prior, after he caught over 10 passes for over 100 yards, and while he stormed off the field, jumping around in the end zone, doing jumping jacks. It was also further revealed that a lot of the issues stemmed from AB's 3-week suspension, as the receiver didn't feel the love from his team. In any event, Antonio Brown released a statement claiming the Buccaneers are engaging in an ongoing cover-up, as his MRI from an independent doctor showed his ankle had broken bone fragments, torn ligaments, and cartilage loss, which were the result of the immense pain he suffered on the sidelines during the Jets game, and that Brown was going to undergo ankle surgery to correct the issue. Then he went on to discuss that the team's training staff injected him with a powerful and dangerous painkiller before last week's game, and that the NFL had warned against using this treatment. AB made it clear that he did not quit or walk away from his teammates, but that he was cut on the sidelines after his refusal to go back into the game. The receiver is saying that the Bucs are trying to cover up the story and trying to spin it to make it look as if AB was the one who left his team to hang and dry.
He sure was dancing off that field like he felt good, man. You know, I don't know. There's always a right way and a wrong way to do anything, man. And I don't think he handled this right, walking out on your team with that big show of disrespect. However he felt, the way the team was handling him, I think he could have addressed that differently. and it kind of would have ended better. But you know, as they say, stupid is as stupid does. And he done had some scratch your head moments in the past. So, you know, leading into that, tell me, you know, we don't want to just harp on AB because AB is AB. You know, we could sit here and have a whole podcast on him. But leading into his current situation, comment on that. If it's going to be his last shot or if he'll come back.
What happened to Antonio Brown? Did he quit? I've never seen a guy leave a field like that. And is this the last strike for him?
He is no longer a Buck. All right, that's the end of the story. Let's talk about the guys that went out there and won the game.
Because when you look at some of the things that Antonio Brown did yesterday, that was stupid. That was stupidity, showing that. To answer your question, Susie, will he be on another team? The question is, who would want to play with Antonio
Brown? Let me answer that for you. He's not going to play in the NFL ever again. That was the ultimate walk-off. There's nobody that's going to give him a chance. The only team that was going to give him a chance now was Tom Brady and Bruce Arians.
And do you think that those attention-getting players, the so-called primadonnas, are just doing that for their brand? Some of these players, B-Dot brought up, make very lucrative careers off the field, even after their career is over, through endorsements, through sometimes they become personalities like sports broadcasters and stuff like that. So what's your thought on these players? You think we're going to have this reciprocating more and more on players just thinking for themselves, not for the team, doing, you know, these outlandish things in order to get their name out there or their brand? You know, what's your thoughts? They got a couple of players that's releasing some books. Scottie Pippen, I think his book is out now. Talking about Jordan's old teammate. Then you got RG3 got one coming out, football player. These guys are releasing these tell-all behind the scenes look at what went on in the locker room and how they was handled, and a lot of things people didn't know that was going on behind the scenes. You know? What's your thought on these type of players that want this? Are they attention seekers? Does that annoy you? Or is it, hey, it's part of the game. It's part of the media-driven thing that we live in. So first chime in on Antonio Brown, K-Dog. What's your thoughts on him? And then tie it into these players, these prima donna players on and off the field, these attention-seeking players. What's your thoughts?
Man, I could answer the question about Antonio Brown two totally different ways. I could sit here and say, like Doc would say, yeah, he washed up. He the league done with him, you know? Or I could say, man, dude then played. You know, he ain't getting no younger. I don't see his athletic ability increasing right now. And I think he just, I think he believes that he's ready to be done with it. Like you said about the ankle surgery that he's going to require. And I think it's just, I mean, he's leaning on and blaming it on that ankle and the surgery that he's requiring. But all in all, man, I think he's just, I mean, he's ready to be done with the sport, you know? I could be wrong. You know, he could have the ankle surgery and come back. But even if he does come back, if he doesn't come back with the same athletic ability that he has now, that's going to be his excuse now. Oh, well, look at what I was before my ankle surgery. Then y'all went and make me play on a hurt ankle. Y'all injured it more. So the reason why I'm not playing as good anymore is because of y'all, because y'all made me play in the game. I mean, I can't read the future, and I don't know how to tell it more than any of us. But I think he's ready to just say he's done with the sport, you know? As far as the question about the, how'd you word the second part, G? About
the attention players that you think doing that, those type of outlandish things for attention to amplify their brand. Does that annoy you? Do you think there's too much of that in the league or what?
I don't let it bother him, man. I really don't pay attention to it enough to actually see those attention-seeking players, you know? I know they out there. I know it goes on, but that's human nature, man. I mean, all of us, we done all done something like that. I remember whenever, I think it was, might have been the R. Kelly concert or some concert we had went to in Lafayette, and that's when you had that nice Explorer, you know, rolling on spinners, you know? Man, we done all done it. I remember buying them same rims from you and putting them on my truck like 4, 5, 6 years later, thinking I was still thinking, oh man, I'm bad. I'm rolling on some rims that's 10 years old, you know? But they were spinners, you know? But we done all done something to kind of show off a little bit and show out a little bit, you know? That's human nature, you know? We gonna all do it. It could be about anything, you know? I got the biggest fish. I got the nicest house. I got this, or I got that, you know? I remember Kabis talked on a podcast before talking about when I used to wear the Grambling clothes, how it made him want to go to Grambling and everything, you know? And I was just doing it, and like my heart has been in the Grambling for a long time, way back since my Uncle Brunel days, you know? And my aunties, uncles, you know? But we done all showed out in our own little ways at times, you know? It ain't nothing different that these guys are than we are, you know? So what, they play a professional sport, they showing out more than us. We all have our own personal thing in us that we show out on, you know? That's just, I mean, that's how the mind works. That's how human nature works, you know?
You're right. They definitely have players that do it, and just their personality. They got some that do it more than others. Specifically, do you think that they're doing that for the to amplify their career? Does it amplify their career? They're showing off and having that that boisterous type of personality give you the opportunity to get more endorsement deals or to have longevity after your career is over, or should it just all be done with your talking on the field, what you do on the field?
It probably does. Look at how the world works these days. The world works on who's stepping on whose back to get to the top position, who's stepping over somebody else, you know? The world's not built on what it should be built on, you know? That's just, I mean, that's facts, you know? It's not built on the smartest guy or the best guy for the job. A lot of the time is, well, I know so-and-so, so we're going to hire so-and-so. We're going to give this person this position because his name is this, you know? I think a lot of what goes on with these guys showing out, man, that's teaching a lot of our younger generation, a lot of our kids that are playing high school sports right now, are playing any type of sports. It could be rec ball or anything. It's showing them, well, if I don't do this like he did it, people are not going to recognize me for my true talent. Sometimes the ugly that brings out somebody, you know? I mean, I don't agree with it, man. It's to me, it's a messed up thing, but I mean, it goes on every single day, and it goes on all across America. It goes on in sports. It goes on in jobs. It goes on in the person that makes the very, very most money in the world to the person who's making the least. It's who can show somebody else out, you know? Who is not specifically better at something, but who's gonna show out more than somebody else.
Interesting point, man. Interesting point. Kabis, what's your take on that, bro? You noticed AB scenario. We've been talking about that. You know, that's been heavy off in the sports world recently, man. Chime in on that and tell us about what you think about the off the field antics of some of these players. Is it detrimental to the sport? Is it annoying to you? Does it not bother you? Is it just part of the business? Is it part of the everyday world, like K-Dog said? I think we got two different things you could look at. You know, they got some players that didn't do it like that, and they got some that did. Some didn't do it like that and got, I think, one of the most humble players that ever played the game is known as one of the greatest, who was Walter Payton. Walter Payton wasn't no flashy dude. Sweetness was just he did it on the field. You can look back at LT. LT was a quiet dude on the field. He's a commentator now. And then you got your prime times. You got your Michael Irvins on the other end of that. So you know, you can look at it. Do you have to do it that way? The way that they did it? No, because we got a example of people that did it. Does more people do it that way? What's your thoughts, man?
Man, for me, it's like it's rough because you got like T.O., you got Ocho Cinco, now you got AB doing it. And it's kind of like with T.O. when he pulled the phone out. I think did he pull a phone out of his sock or something? Or somebody?
Nah, that was Joe Horn. That was that Saints player. Joe Horn did the phone.
Oh yeah, Joe Horn. I said Joe, but did he get endorsed? I think he did it. Didn't he get like a cell phone commercial or something? Yeah, no. You know what I'm thinking about? T.O. put the pen out. I knew it was T.O. T.O. put the pen out his sock. But he got that idea from Joe Horn. So T.O. put the pen out his sock, signed for ball, threw it in the stand.
30-yard empty backfield. Brooks with time, rifles, touchdown Saints. Joe Horn, and he pulls up the protective coating. There's a new one.
He's got his own phone.
He hit his phone.
He had his phone stashed in the end zone.
All right, now remember, Terrell Owens, they passed a rule after the Sharpie came out, and it said you can't have anything on your body. Now, I guarantee you there's going to be a new rule. After Monday morning in the commissioner's office, we're going to have a new rule regarding celebration.
How much money he made for that? It's like you thinking you gonna, like, you boosting your appeal, but you really not. And they, T.O. on getting in the Hall of Fame. T.O. obviously a Hall of Famer. T.O., Randy Moss, and Jerry Rice, top 3 receivers in NFL history. But Randy, I think first ballot, Jerry first ballot. T.O. had to wait, how many years T.O. had to wait to get in the Hall of Fame? You know what I'm saying? So it's like they gonna do AB the same way. And it's like they make excuses. They say he did this, he did that. And I'm like, bro. First they said he did it because of his incentives. They wasn't getting him the ball. You got suspended. You could have had them incentives fucking 2-3 games ago. Tom Brady, like, and Skip was talking about it. Tom Brady force feeding him the ball. He did it last year when he was trying to get his incentives. Tom made sure Tom deliberately threw him the ball in double coverage, bad, you know what I'm saying, bad coverage and shit, to help him get his incentives. So when that kind of came out the wash, then they was like, oh, he said his ankle hurt, this and that. If your ankle hurt, why you jumping up and down? You running off the field, taking your shit off, doing jumping jacks in the end zone. But your ankle hurt, you got to the point you got to have surgery. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's where 2 and 2 not coming together on that shit. Then, on top of that, they saying like Bruce Arians. They said Tom Brady kind of took Bruce Arians nuts because Bruce Arians was sick of AB a long time ago. But Tom Brady was like, no, he too good. He too cold. I got to have it. And they won the Super Bowl. So, I mean, you know, he was right. But I think it's one of them things like Dennis Rodman, Ron Artest. He do have some type of mental issue because if your ankle hurt, you know, we play sports. You know what I'm saying? We know how it is. We done all had injuries. You know what I'm saying? Minor injuries and major injuries. So it's like, if you hurt, hey, coach, my ankle. They gonna tell you to suck it up because that's sports. I mean, you think you can go? You think you can go? We need you out there. Nah, coach, it's bad. It's bad. All right, well, whatever. Get out, you know, go sit on the bench. Why you don't go to the trainer? Why you don't go to the doctor? You go take your shit off, and then if it comes to your incentives, how you gonna get your incentives now? You done took your shit off. And like Bruce Arians, that's what they're saying. Bruce Arians don't have the power to say he ain't a buck no more because he didn't sign it. You know what I'm saying? Like you ain't got the power to say he ain't a buck. You can say he like suspended or he benched, but you can't say he off the team. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, I think it's just one of the things. It's just the mentality. You got, like I said, like Dennis Rodman. I'd rather put him in the league with like Dennis Rodman and Ron Artest because he on some next level. Like at least you can see T.O. and Ocho's. They acting wild, but they trying to, you know, like you said. And that was when like social media, internet, like brand, all of that type of stuff was just getting started. So they was kind of like testing the water. See, Randy Moss did it kind of too, but Randy was kind of like on the other side of where he already had his voice. And he was just kind of wild, you know what I'm saying, kind of boisterous because he was already up. But then you had like T.O. where he was in San Francisco trying to get up, you know, trying to make more of a name for himself. Standing on the star in Dallas, like telling Jerry, come get me, going to Philadelphia, different stuff like that. So, I mean, I think I can see like the gears turning, like how he think it's going to be. Well, I'm already done in the league. I already got a Super Bowl. I already had a Hall of Fame career, you know, so now it's time for me to transition. But I don't think it's going to go the way he don't go. Like the antics and all of this, and I may be and like this. He might do a podcast. He might, you know, he never knows. He got a big fan base already. But it's like,
and I got too sexy for the stadium.
All right, coach said, that's all you had to say.
The coach said, "Get the fuck out of here." I'm like, "Yo, fuck you guys too. I'm taking off your logo. I'm not wearing this shit no more. I threw it." Now imagine you hear 60,000 people like, "Yeah, AB." My fucking adrenaline got so high. I just got too sexy for my clothes, but I started giving the fans what they want. They want gloves, they want shirts, you know?
You feel like you could have handled the situation better?
How you want me to handle it?
I mean,
a guy could just make up money that I owed him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Say anything, the media running in the ground. Now he's making up a case for me on me because he said I owed him X amount of dollars.
Well, I was talking about mainly when you took off your shirt, took off your jersey.
Are you still on that topic?
We'll move on. Well, yeah, no, I really want to know because.
Tell me what you asked.
Like, do you feel like you could have handled the situation better by just?
Bro,
like,
listen, I'm Antonio
room?
Brown, man. No one, bro. You know what it's like to be in the football field?
Nah.
All right then. So, like, imagine you playing a game, football game. Imagine the guys you came to battle with while you know your freaking ankles fucked, you barely could run. And the guy that you think got your back, this your team. These the guys that you flew here with to do a mission. They knew about my situation before we even came. I communicated with the coach, the trainers, everyone know.
But is that
and they get there and be battling them, and the guy tell you because you can't go to war with them, get the fuck out of here? What do you want me to do? Sit there like, bro, I'm an alpha male. You say fuck me, I'm not gonna react, bro, because it don't really matter what you say. Like, you can't affect me. But like, if you like discriminate on my public image and my name, it's like, bro, at that point it's fuck you too, bro, professionally.
Sounds like they had an ulterior motive or something.
Of course, bro, they targeted hate on me, bro. Like, why would you do a guy like that? Then hold on, you cut me in the press conference after the game.
You can only do the wild shit can only go so far. You know what I'm saying? And it's like with that, if you having surgery, why you doing jumping jacks in the end zone if your ankle hurt? That's my thing. I'm saying if he really got it, and I think it's just a mental issue, just his mentality, the way he think, the decision making. Like, okay, are you trying? Because he's not getting the incentive now. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you couldn't. You like, do you think you go? Because that's how it was when he left Pittsburgh. That's how it was when he left Ray. Like, well, I'm free. I don't need y'all. I can get money from over here. And I think he think he gonna get a check from over here, which he might not. I'm kind of thinking he might not, because it's like people not gonna want to deal. Even though he's a big celebrity, he's got a big name. I think it's gonna be like one or two kind of like gimmicky things. They're gonna be like, okay, AB do this, AB do this, and that's gonna dry up because you famous for playing football. I think, like, you know, we said we had the podcast about transition with Richard Sherman. You think you're gonna do that, and then like trying to get an analysis job, like being on TV talking football. Them stations, them broadcast channels, they're not gonna want to deal with that, like your mentality. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I think I hope the best for him. You know what I'm saying? I hate to see that, because it is a great, you know, a lot of people make it about race. For me, it's about the fact, like Martin, like a mind is a terrible thing to waste. He's a great talent. You know what I'm saying? And what he did for the game, for the sport, and what he kind of doing to it now, to me, is kind of a shame, because he should be a first ballot Hall of Fame, strictly football speaking. But
No
the
doubt.
extra shit, I think it's gonna come back to bite him to eat.
No doubt. I agree. He definitely has done enough for the Hall of Fame career, man. And I hate to see it end like this. If it was his last day on the team, I don't think he'll play for the Bucks again. I think that bridge is burned. But like anything else, bro, y'all put it well, bro. AB, you just mentioned Martin Luther King said, mine's a terrible thing to waste. He also said, judge a man by the content of his character, not the color of his skin. So you do have a lot of people saying, oh, why are you talking bad about AB? You're another brother. You're bashing a brother. But man, his character is the reason we talking about it, not because he's black. He showed bad character, bad judgment on that. And Kay, you put that well. We all have done things to get attention. We nobody's immune to that attention seeking. And when your brand is hot, strike the iron, as they say, because it ain't gonna be hot forever. You got to get yours while it getting as good. And like you say, AB has a huge following. He always likes that limelight. I think he did feel empowered a bit because of the fact that some of the players who he was, I say, backing up or maybe third to on the depth chart had got injured. So he feel like he moved up in the depth chart. He should be getting them numbers and them targets on a regular basis. And maybe he felt like, he wasn't getting the targets he was. I think this injury thing is just a deflection to say, this why I did that, just to make an excuse. I don't think he's taking accountability for his actions at all. But, that's not new. That's not new for AB. We talking about him in general, but on to other players in the past and how they've acted on and off the field and the example that they've set for other players and for the youth that's coming up in the league watching them, like you put, Kate. It don't have to be done that way. I watched the King Richard movie. I know we had been talking about that. Mm-hmm. There was a scene in that movie when he was raising his daughters, man. He brought up the girls were kind of in the back. They just ran through this tournament, man, and they were like only black kids in the tournament. Everybody didn't expect them to do how well that they did, man. They left with the #1 trophies and stuff. This was when they was playing juniors. And he stopped the van. He went off. He told them, he said, look, if we gonna do this, we gonna do it right. We gonna be humble with it. We're not gonna brag and we're not gonna boast about our accomplishments. When we win, we're gonna win with class. When we lose, we're gonna lose with class. And more often than not, you've seen that it took them girls a long way, man. Them girls are classy individuals that's looked up to, and long after their career's gonna be over. So there's a way to do it. We don't have to necessarily fall victim to how everybody else is doing it. That might have been their path that they took. But there's another example that we can look for, and that's the one that we should be highlighting. AB gonna be in the news. AB gonna be talked about, and his antics gonna be seen by little kids. And they might say it's all right to quit the team if you feel a certain type of way. No, it ain't. That's one thing about sports. My dad always would tell me, man, you ain't gonna quit. No matter what. You hurt, you can't play. You gonna sit your ass on that bench and watch your team and cheer them on. You ain't gonna quit. So, I just think this is a learning experience, man, and hopefully AB get the help he need and find out what's going on with him personally, and other players can learn from it as well. I know he getting flack from a certain side, and then he getting upheld by a certain side. You're gonna always have that. And like you say, he has a fan base right now that's probably bigger than football fans because of his antics, and they want to see, what he gonna do next. That type of what you call that YouTube or social media type of following. Like what AB say next. He probably got tons of followers just to see the type of the things that he would come out and say or why he did it. So maybe this was a media ploy. Maybe like Kay say, he knew his time was up. Or as Uncle Doc would put it, the boy was washed up. So he trying to transition on to another, venture in his life. Like you say, he might do pull up pull up podcast. He want to pull up a table to the Plowbois or something. You never know. Pull up a chair to the Plowbois. But yeah, man, we'll revisit that another time and see, you know, how it all turned out for him, man. Maybe he'll work again in the NFL. You know, we shall see.
City boy. Yeah, you were born with dirty hands. Yeah, you a plowboy, and you're freaking silly boy. Just trying to make you understand. Yeah, you a plowboy, and you're freaking silly boy. Just trying to make you understand. Oh,